Yeah. Hair flip, yeah, I'm a badass bitch. I don't like it. Hair flip, yeah. Oh my god. So you guys should be happy. Oh my goodness. Hair flip. But anyways, hair flip. And hair flipping on these hoes. Hi.
Case has captured the country's attention, and for good reason. But there are other cases, other families in grief tonight that we think as a country we should be following more closely. Some involve black and brown families, and generally they don't get as much attention. That includes the case of Jelani Day, a 25-year-old graduate student from Illinois. He suddenly disappeared in late August. His car, wallet, even his clothes have been found, but police haven't found Jelani. His mother, Carmen Bolden Day, was with us last Friday.
I was very frustrated with the fact that Jelani hadn't been getting the coverage. Jelani's been missing for 24 days. And like I said, it seems like the effort to find him has slacked down.
The Jelani Day case. Mystery grows around disappearance, death of ISU graduate student. He would never disappear on his own. Bloomington, Illinois, the investigation into the death of Illinois grad student and aspiring doctor Jelani Day continues, with authorities calling the circumstances unusual. His family said they suspect foul play as the mystery surrounding his death grows. Quote, "I'm very upset because I can't even look at my son's body. I can't say a proper goodbye to him," said his mother, Carmen Bolden Day. Day, who was studying to be a doctor, was living and going to the school in Bloomington, Illinois. He was last seen on campus on August 24th, and his car was found 2 days after, an hour north in the town of Peru. A week after that, his body was floating in the Illinois River.
Police are trying to identify a man seen on surveillance video knocking on the door of a home in LaSalle. Relatives of Jelani Day say they have seen it and it is not him. The video shows a man knocking on the door of that home. When no one answers, he walks away. Day, of course, is the Illinois State University graduate student who was last seen on the 24th of August. Police say this video was recorded the next day. Day's body was found earlier this month in the Illinois River. It was positively identified on Thursday, and his family is upset it took police so long to share this video.
Home not far from where Day remains were located. The video was taken the day after the missing student was last seen. The FBI is now working with the local investigators as they try to figure out if the unknown subject is connected to Day's case. The family's attorney said loved ones suspected foul play. The wallet was found in a different area. The lanyard, which had a school ID on it, was not found with the wallet. It was found in a different area, said attorney Holly Besner. Authorities so far are calling the circumstances surrounding the disappearance unusual. The way his vehicle was, it was off of a parking lot, said Peru police. That's very unusual to just find a car like that. Investigators are now working to retrace Day's final moments. Jelani did not just disappear into thin air, his mother said. Somebody knows something, somebody's seen something, and I need somebody to say something. Now, let's jump into a timeline of Jelani's death so we can get a little bit more in detail with Jelani Day's disappearance. The timeline of missing Illinois student Jelani Day. Tuesday, August 24th. Jelani Day, 25, is last seen entering the Beyond Hello Cannabis dispensary at 1515 North Veterans Parkway, Bloomington. The Danville native who ran track at Alabama A&M is attending Illinois State to get his master's degree in speech pathology and is a member of the fraternity Omega Psi Phi. A security cameraman image places him in there about 9:15 a.m. Authorities later released a security camera image of Day at 7:20 a.m. at the ISU's Bone Student Center. Wednesday, August 25th, Day's family reports him missing to police. They say they last talked to him on August 23rd. He had not attended class for several days. Thursday, August 26th. Day's white 2010 Chrysler 300 is found in a wooded area in Peru, about 60 miles north of Bloomington. His clothing is also found inside. Friday, August 27th. ISU asked students to contact Bloomington authorities with tips about Day. Students are encouraged to contact student counseling services. Over the weekend, students also distributed flyers seeking information. Monday, August 30th. Day's family sets up a GoFundMe account to provide resources for his search. His mother also announces a $25,000 reward. Tuesday, August 31st. The Bloomington Police Department releases information about Day's last known whereabouts and asks for information about those who saw him or the vehicle. Wednesday, September 1st. Day's mother, Carmen Bolden Day, and others scour the area around Beyond Hello for clues. I'm pleading with whoever knows anything or whoever has him. Just let him go, she says. Friday, September 3rd. More than 100 people gather in the Bone Student Center in support of the search effort. I want you to know Jelani is not dead and we will find him, his mother tells those who gathered there. Saturday, September 4th. Authorities find a body just off the south bank of Illinois River, east of the Illinois 251 bridge in LaSalle County. Officials say it could take weeks to identify the body. Monday, September 3rd. Monday, September 20th. Bloomington police in a statement say they are still actively investigating the case, including collecting and analyzing physical and digital evidence, as well as interviewing witnesses. Tuesday, September 21st. Illinois State University President Terry Goss Kinsey refers to Day in her State of the University speech. In consultation with Jelani's family, we will continue to provide support to them, and as a community, I ask that we all provide support to each other, she says. At a city council meeting in Danville, Mayor Ricky Williams Jr. pleads for information. We always say here, see something, hear something, know something, say something. Someone out there has seen, heard, or knows something, Williams said. Please bring this young man home if he's still alive. And if for some reason he's not, please let his family know so that they might have some peace. Thursday, September 23rd. The LaSalle County coroner identifies the body found September 4th in Illinois River as that of Jelani Day. There are no words to clearly communicate our devastation. Our hearts are broken, Day's mother says in a Facebook post. Authorities say the cause of death has not been determined and is pending further investigation and the toxicology testing. Saturday, September 25th. A memorial is planned in Uptown Circle in Normal. Organizers had initially planned a protest asking for FBI to become involved in this case. September 29th, 2021. Man shown in video no longer considered suspect in Jelani Day's death. Peru authorities investigating the death of Illinois State University graduate student Jelani Day said Wednesday they have ruled out a young man as a person of interest in the case. Peru police released a video on social media of a man knocking on the door of a home on August 25th, when Day was reported missing. In a statement, the LaSalle County Sheriff's Office said they located the man, interviewed him, and it has been determined he is not a suspect or any longer a person of interest. Police said they verified the man was in the neighborhood as part of his employment. Last Thursday, authorities confirmed a body found in the South Bank of Illinois River was Jelani Day. The investigation continues with a multi-jurisdictional unit composed of Bloomington, LaSalle, and Peru Police, Illinois State Police, the LaSalle County Sheriff's Office, the LaSalle County Coroner's Office, and the FBI's Behavior Analysis Unit. With that being said, this black man that was in the neighborhood for his employment, whether yard care or lawn care, whatever he was doing, he is innocent. He had nothing to do with anything. Jelani was missing on Wednesday, as the family had not heard from him as of the 23rd of August or the 24th, and they reported him missing on the 25th, the day this young man was in the neighborhood for his employment. So they just made him a suspect because it was the only lead that they had, and that lead fell short. So this is an innocent man that was basically in the wrong place at the wrong time and was listed as a suspect just because he was in an area. So once again, this man is innocent. He had did nothing to Jelani. There's nothing to prove that he had anything to do with this disappearance. Even more proof is that he was on the doorstep as of Thursday. Jelani was reported missing that same day. So they would have been reporting something that had already happened, basically saying that this man was not there Tuesday or Wednesday, the day Jelani could have went missing. He was actually there the day he was reported missing. Jelani Day's body revealed to be missing vital organs after second autopsy, lawyer reportedly says. Jelani Day's mother and her children have offered conflicting reports about whether the 25-year-old's missing grad student's body was missing some vital organs. His mother said in a Facebook post on Monday that no organs were missing. That was one day after her lawyer told the opposite to the Chicago Sun-Times. On Tuesday, Day's siblings released their own statement via their mother's Facebook page and confirmed that the pathologist didn't have all the body parts, organs, for the body they identified as our brother, Jelani Day. After a second autopsy, they said the family was ordering a third autopsy and called for a federal law enforcement to get involved. Carmen Bolden Day has seemingly endured more unnecessary suffering, uncertainty, and callous treatment than any other mother who has lost her child. It was bad enough that the body of her son, 25-year-old Illinois State University graduate student Jelani Day, wasn't found off the bank of Illinois River until 10 days after he was reported missing on August 25th. And 9 days after his car was found in a wooded area in the town of Peru. It was bad enough that it wasn't until weeks later, and nearly a month since he was reported missing, that Day's body could actually be identified by the LaSalle County Coroner's Office. It was bad enough that while all this was going on, Day's mother had been basically begging the media to pay her son's story the same attention that they gave to Gabby Petito. And she'd been considered and concerned that the authorities had been dragging their feet investigating her son's disappearance. But it turns out that even after Day's body had been identified, Bolden was not immediately allowed to view the body, which she discovered was missing virtually all its vital organs after a second autopsy was performed at the family's request. Bolden's attorney, Holly M. Besner, also said that the grieving mother had been treated with a gross lack of empathy by the first coroner when she had been informed that a positive ID of her son was underway. According to the Chicago Sun-Times, Bolden recalled being on the phone with Besner on September 22nd when the identified or unidentified coroner called her on the other line to give her the good news that her son's body was soon to be identified. Suffice to say, no grieving mother would take the definitive news that her son's dead is good news. But what makes matters worse is that she naturally had more questions concerning the coroner's office's process and why it took so long for Day to be identified. The coroner reportedly got frustrated and was rude in asking her, "Do you want us to identify your son or not?" Besner said she was on the line at the time and she rightfully told the coroner he had no effing right to speak to Bolden that way. A day later, the coroner's office announced Day had finally been identified, but Bolden said she was informed she would still have to wait to view the body, which was waterlogged to the point where it was missing Day's eyeballs. The Sun-Times reported that the family's private forensic pathologist could find no brain, according to the Chicago Times posts one of the autopsies. Heartbreaking for sure. The corpse had no eyeballs, only sockets. The river's water had run her course, soaking the body through and through. The body was missing its front, top, and bottom teeth. Day and Besner said, citing a second autopsy performed by a private forensic pathologist at the request of the family. His jawbone had been sawed out. The family's private forensic pathologist could find no brain, according to Day and her attorney. No organs, neither liver nor spleen. Besner said the LaSalle County coroner had explained that, according to the pathology report, the organs were completely liquefied. So this is the report of the second autopsy that was done due to the family's request, and it's also posted by the Chicago Sun-Times. Heartbreaking for sure. The corpse had no eyeballs, only sockets. The river's water had run her course, soaking the body through and through. The body was missing its front, top, and bottom teeth. Day and Besner said, citing a second autopsy performed by a private forensic pathologist at the request of the family, his jawbone had been sawed out. The family's private forensic pathologist could find no brain, according to Day and her attorney, no organs, neither liver nor spleen. Besner said the LaSalle County coroner had explained that, according to their pathology report, the organs were completely liquefied. The body had suffered innumerable fish and turtle bites and was maggot infested, said Besner, citing information both she and Day said they received from the LaSalle County coroner's office, which has not yet been released. Its autopsy report to the family, according to Day and Besner. The genitalia was unidentifiable, according to the private forensic pathologist report, but determined to be flayed, according to the county coroner's forensics pathologist. So here's the thing. In most cases, when a body is found, they identify it due to dental records. If Jelani was allegedly missing his top and bottom row of teeth, how are you identifying him? If the DNA that they gave, which the family gave weeks before they found Jelani's body, that should have matched immediately, especially if you're not using dental records, which is the most fluid way into figuring out who's who, because dental records are they're one of a kind. You know, nobody has the same dental records, just like nobody has the same fingerprints. So I understand the family stating that, is this even Jelani? Like, do you even have the right person, especially with the genitalia being unidentifiable? How do you know for sure that this is a male if all of the body parts and whatnot were basically liquefied, is what they said? But it does seem as if, you know, it's possible that his organs were removed, but still at the same time, if they're liquefied, how are you identifying that this is a male? It sounds like Jelani went through a horrible situation. It sounds like whoever did this to Jelani hated him. What happened to Jelani Day? The coroner of LaSalle County, Illinois, confirmed Day's identity through forensic dental identification and DNA testing and comparisons. Now, I'm going to have to do a quick side note. I don't understand how the coroner of LaSalle County identified Jelani through dental records if he was missing his top and bottom row of teeth. What are you comparing? Gums? That doesn't make sense. And then on top of that, his jawbone was sawed off. So what are you comparing? And then when it comes to the DNA testing, there was a male's body that was found alongside of the river. If you have no actual proof with the DNA connected to Jelani to state that that is him, rather you're using sperm or whatever samples you're trying to use, hair follicles or whatever, it doesn't necessarily make sense if his body was mutilated. So how do you know for sure with this DNA that it is testing that the test actually matched to say that this is him? What if it was somebody that was related to him or something in that regard? The same, DNA, being in the same family. It doesn't necessarily make sense to where they would just state that we know this is him for sure when so many things are missing, like his organs, his teeth, the things that in this type of case that they would use to identify a body. All of the elements are missing. Whoever did this to Jelani, they wanted to make sure that they cannot find out that this was him. So again, my question for the coroner would be, how do we know for sure that this is Jelani? Why are you not stating his cause of death, especially if it matches into how you found his body? I believe his cause of death does not match. It doesn't make sense. If they state the cause of death, I feel like that will draw more questions than answers. So let's keep going. As per reports, police have not released the cause of death. Day was reported missing on August 25th in Bloomington, Illinois. In response to the questions about the delay in his identification, Illinois State Police Sergeant Joy Watson said on September 30th that cases are prioritized in laboratories depending on whether it's a violent crime or a property crime, or if it has an upcoming court date, or whether the requesting agency has asked for rushed processing. There are a number of mechanisms and laboratories used to ensure an agency's request and are considered, an ISP strives to meet these needs through practices such as the use of overtime, outsourcing analysis to an external laboratory, and transferring cases to other ISP labs for assistance, Watson said. A report in the Chicago Sun-Times stated that Day's corpse had no eyeballs, only sockets. The body was reportedly missing its front top and bottom teeth. An autopsy report performed by a private forensic pathologist suggested that his jawbone had been sawed out. Day's family and their attorney said the pathologist could find no brain, no liver, no spleen, no organs. According to the pathology report, the organs were completely liquefied. The genitalia was unidentifiable. Attorney Holly M. Besner added that she is trying to seek a scientific explanation for the severely decomposed body of Day. Foul play or not, it's unusual, said John Furman of Bloomington Police Department, said back in September. Just right off the bat was unusual. Do I want to say it was foul play suspected? We don't know. It was just so unusual and somewhat suspicious that it just kind of piqued our interest of, hey, it's not normally how a missing person's go. Furman added, this isn't one that since the body was located, we just stopped. That's just not how law enforcement works, and that's not how we work. We're still going to investigate, especially the circumstances around it. As per an October 1st Fox News report, the FBI is looking at Day's case as potentially suicide, but his family does not agree. He had a sound mind. He was not troubled by anything. We just had spoken on Monday. We had a family vacation planned for Thanksgiving. We were planning for that vacation, says his mother. The suicide theory also does not explain the missing organs or state Day's severely decomposed body. So now that the FBI has gotten involved, they have no other explanation because they have no leads. Since they don't have any leads, it's time to turn this against the victim himself by stating that they view that this could possibly have been a suicide. Which, how is that possible if all the organs are missing? So basically what they're trying to state, the FBI, is that Jelani basically committed suicide by drowning himself in a river. Somebody may have found his body and removed his organs, or they liquefied in the process of the body decomposing. But with the body being, the jaw being sawed off, with the organs literally missing and some possibly being liquefied because they were left in there with his genitalia not being able to be identified at all just doesn't make any sense. His brain was missing, and I mean, the whole jaw being sawed out is definitely a number one indicator. And with his eyeballs being removed from the socket, just the socket being there, not even pieces of his eyeballs or anything, it's just all just gone. That does not make sense. So this theory that the FBI has, I pray that they go back to the drawing board, because this is not the reason that Jelani is no longer here. Say that Jelani did decide to end his life. It does not make it okay for somebody to just come pull him out of the river, remove body parts, mutilate his body, and then just throw him back in there like he does not matter. So please, FBI, go back to the drawing board, because that is not what happened. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you all. We will definitely keep going with the story of Jelani Day. We have a part 2 that is dropping. Make sure you pay attention to that, because there are a lot of details that the law enforcement is leaving out, and they're giving us little drips and drops and little breadcrumbs as they go along, because there's a lot of things that they know that if we are told, we are going to have questions, especially with that young man's organs missing, him being of sound mind, body, and health, and just all of a sudden this guy is gone, and on top of that, so is all of his organs, and oh well, we're just going to chop it up till he probably ended his life. It's not a good way to go down in history if the FBI and the LaSalle County are trying to do right by their victims. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Thanks for watching your boy. Until the next video, bye. Shout out to the Day family. The words cannot explain how I feel for you. Like, I'm getting emotional right now just thinking about this family and everything that they're going through. So shout out to Carmen, his mother. I know this is a very trying time for you and your children that are missing their sibling, somebody that had a very bright future ahead of him. It is very unfortunate. And I just send you prayers and positive energy, and I just pray that you find the peace that you need in such this horrible storm of a situation, a parent's worst nightmare. So until the next show, I love you guys. Bye.
Flesh, 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 flesh.